Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Hey, I got a couple of big shows coming up I want to tell you all about. Starting off this summer, June 22nd, we're celebrating 5 years of Rock Paper Podcast at the 5th annual birthday show being held at Broadway Oyster Bar. Again, June 22nd. I'll be bringing along Amanda Fish Band, Tony Campanella Band, and Odds Lane. Music will start about 10. It's an $8 cover for that show. So come on out and join us for some great live music, plenty of cold drinks, and all kinds of delicious food from Broadway Oyster Bar. Also coming up Tuesday night on May 14th, I'll be out at Naked Vine for my singer-songwriter storytelling showcase featuring Karen Choi, Billy Crogan, and Tony Compton. That's a 7 o'clock start, $5 at the door. And we do that every second Tuesday of the month. But yeah, let me tell you about my friends over there at Naked Vine. They're always serving up the best wine, whiskey, tequila, and local craft beers. And you can come visit them in Chesterfield, Missouri for some great live local music on Thursday, May 16th. Phil and Carson of the Scandaleros will be out there. On May 17th, Friday night, Cree Rider Band and Gin Strings. And Saturday, May 18th, Find a Drive and Gin Strings. Double dose of Gin Strings this weekend down there, so come on by. You can find all this information and more on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, nakedvine.net. And also want to let you know about my friends over at Joseph Meyer Club. If you haven't checked it out yet, they have this great product. It's an aftershave. It's a foaming aftershave that I've been using, and I love it, and I think you will too. Head over to josephmeyerclub.com. Follow them on Facebook also. And when you enter RPPJMC20 at checkout, you can receive an exclusive 20% off of your purchase. And there's always free shipping, so keep that in mind. But again, RPPJMC20 at checkout at josephmeyerclub.com. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you out at some of these shows coming up. And have a great day.
Podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're listening to Rock Paper Podcasts. I'm Paul Niehaus here with Walter Greiner and Shane Presley.
It's our pleasure to be here. This man's a fine man. I hope you listen to all this. Surely hoping you listen to the songs. And I sure hope you come and see us live sometime soon, I hope. Thank you.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast, y'all.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today at beautiful Blue Lotus Recording Studio with Walter Greiner and Paul Niehaus. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you so much, Shane.
Thanks for coming. Indeed.
I messed up that intro a little bit, but I got it all out there.
It sounds good.
We do it in music, too. We just roll on.
Right. But, man, I'm glad to be back here. We've done quite a few down here at Blue Lotus, so this feels like home down here, man.
Well, thanks so much. Always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
One of the St. Louis label. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but this is my first time really getting to meet Walter. I've definitely been following you online. I've seen you out a couple of times around town, just bumping into you at shows and stuff. We talked about maybe passing in at Oyster Bar and stuff. And but this is cool where we can actually sit down and talk and get to know more about what you're up to and talk about the pairing of you two working together and then making these records together and stuff. So
sounds right.
Yeah. Well, take me back, Walter. Like I said, this is our first time talking. Always from St. Louis. Always grew up around this area.
Well, I come up all in Missouri, really, but my mama's family was all from southern Missouri, about Farmington way, most of them. So I spent a lot of my life down there, especially when my father used to get tired of seeing me around. So, and when we weren't going to school, when we was children, I spent a lot of my time down in Farmington that way. So I've seen a lot of Southern Missouri.
Okay.
I like Southern Missouri. But yeah, I come up in St. Louis. It's I was raised playing baseball and just a St. Louis boy. It's always on the Sandlot ball, so it's always.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
I just went to the game myself today, and it wasn't a great one. We didn't bring home the win, but it was either way. It's always exciting when it's baseball season in St. Louis and being around the game, and even if it's just at the Sandlot and stuff, it's still
right.
it's still exciting time of year when baseball season is going. So
Americana.
yeah,
well, I grew up in baseball. I grew up around the train tracks, which you'll tell you runs right out back of my house. I grew up by the Mississippi River, which is less than probably a half a mile from my house, and I grew up playing baseball. And of course, I grew up loving music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So I know you obviously you did some live stuff here with us today also, and you played some guitar. So when did you find music as a kid? Like, was it always a guitar, or did you play some other instruments along the way too?
Well, my first instrument I ever played was a little cheap harmonica. I used to play when I was a real young boy. And it's a strange story. It's the real story with me is I used to walk down railroad tracks playing harmonica.
All right.
That's it. This is a true story. Just some kid with some cheap old harmonica in his mouth just walking down railroad tracks playing harmonica, yeah.
Yeah. For me, like, my mind goes to that Stand By Me, where they're walking that railroad track the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I just imagine, like, your group of buddies and stuff hanging out on the railroad tracks. And so, classic film there for sure.
Classic Americana.
Yep.
We used to hop on railroad trains when we was children. We did that for fun.
Yeah.
We used to go ride them trains. I mean, you had to be real careful. A lot of kids got bad hurt and stuff. But yeah, we used to ride them trains and really enjoy it too. It's just a rush. It's just a thrill. It's just, now that you're older, you can't do it no more, of course. But, when we was kids, man, hopping on a train and riding down a mile or so down the railroad tracks, that was a good time. True story.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff are you playing on the harmonica? Are you just kind of making up stuff, or are you?
Well, I've always played my own music. They always said I was a bit off. In fact, the guys that grew up with me said he never was right. That's what they tell me. I said, well, when I always look at them, I said, well, you tell me what this right is. But they never got an answer for that. So I said, all right, I understand. So I basically got my own rhythms. Paul will tell you I never play the same song twice the same way, even if I play it back to back.
Indeed.
I never do. It's just the way I play. It's who I am. Yeah.
Well, and I also feel like that's part of the beauty of live music anyway. It's like, if you want to listen to it the same way twice, you can buy the record and you can listen.
That's right, buy the record.
Right. Yeah. So,
Yep.
But other than that, like, I love the fact that it's a live take. You're gonna hear it different every time, and that's
right.
And that's why people keep coming back to shows. You want to, if it's the same thing every time, you can get a little stale. So
Sell them the truth.
Yep.
Sell them the truth. Yeah.
So you're always even as a young boy, you started writing your own music then, and
I start writing words and poetry back about been over 50 years ago now.
okay.
I start writing actual songs close to 50 years ago. So it's been a long doggone time. Long. Yeah.
And then were you doing anything with it? I mean, were you playing out, or were you?
Well, I played with a lot of bands in the past. I used to play most definitely rock and roll back in the day. I played with a band called Blind Justice. We were the original Blind Justice out of St. Louis, and we were just one of them striving hardcore rock and roll garage St. Louis bands. And were we good? Some days we were. I'm sure some days we weren't too.
Yeah. So did you guys? I don't know for sure, but was it when the first time you and Paul got together and made a record? Was that your first record, or were you?
Well, it depends on what you consider a first record now, because I've been on and off recording myself for a long, 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 long time.
Right.
As far as being a professional record, you might have to say yes. But then he knows of the House of Sparrows, too, that I used to work with David Fleshman, who was an old bass playing friend of mine who's no longer with us,
right.
A South St. Louis boy. And the House of Sparrows was a notable project. It took us years to do that, yeah.
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 Well, right on. Well, let's talk about how you two came to be and how where this friendship started and everything. So where do you two cross paths?
Well, we'll let him start with this
Sure.
one. 'Cause
At Off Broadway, I was playing with Roland Johnson Open for Pokey Lafarge around New Year's about a year and a half ago. And he was in the audience, and we just chatted, and then got in touch on the internet after that, and he sent me some songs through the web, and we threw out the idea of doing some recording, and yeah.
Well, he was just being nice, really. Just seeing an old man he might have halfway liked. And he said, well, I'll bring him down to my studio for, a couple hours.
Yeah,
And I know I can read people pretty well, And he said, well, we'll just see if he's got anything there. And we'll just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Basically,
One way to find out.
Yeah. Well, I knew I could see when he was with, I like Pokey Lafarge quite a bit, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, man.
But to me, I thought that Roland Johnson should be the headliner of that show because Roland Johnson just got massive. And I could tell the kid was running the stage. I looked at it and said, playing great, great music. You could tell he was in control of that particular stage. I said, So talking to him was my pleasure, you know what I mean? And a man that writes songs always wants to talk to us. When I find out he's got a studio, come on.
Right.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
on.
Walter goes to shows all the time and loves
Yeah.
to talk to the bands. He's just a music head, so he's always in the front row dancing along.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm sure we ran into each other at a bunch of shows before we even were familiar with who each other were. But because I frequent Off Broadway quite a bit myself, so there's always great shows over there.
Oh, yeah.
So
that man's a good man. Yeah.
yeah. Well, there must have been something there because you guys have already done 3 records now together.
That's right. The third one comes out
third one's on the way.
later this month, in May 17th. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they're like EPs. Like 14 tracks on this, or
This one has 15,
15?
yeah. They're all in like the 12
And
to
that's
15
not the biggest
area.
one.
Right.
That's the second one was the biggest one.
Oh, okay.
The second one was 70 minutes.
Okay, there you go.
70 minutes. That was, 17, 18 songs maybe on the second one.
Yeah.
Or something.
And it's worth noting these are field recordings, so
Right.
these aren't done here at the studio. We went out on the road and did these. So
sure.
the
old-
first one is
old school.
Volume 1 is live from the St. Francis Mountains. Our friend Joe Boris has a cabin down there and invited us.
Thanks to
And
Joe.
it was a blast. Thank you to him. And that was on Walter's birthday a year ago this month.
It was
And,
my 65th birthday. We
yep.
recorded the first one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of videos out from that on YouTube, and the record is out. And then the second and third one we did in the same trip. It was about a week-long trip. We went to Butte, Montana,
That's the
where
second
I
one.
go about once a year. And they have a film festival up there called the Covalite Film Festival. So that was our reason for going up there. And
Well,
just
that
a
was
wonderful
that
city
was
to
a
hang
blast.
out
That
in.
was a
So
blast. All the
it
people
was
there.
just a
Butte.
true pleasure.
And
Yep. Just
Brian
Montana.
Montgomery-
Brian
Brian
McGregory.
Montgomery?
Yep. Top notch.
People.
Yep.
People.
So Volume 2 is called Virgin on the Mountain,
Beautiful.
and
Tell them that story.
yeah.
Tell them if this story here is worthwhile. This is a worthwhile story.
Well, in Butte, Montana, there's a 70-foot tall statue of the Virgin Mary, and it's lit up at night right up on the mountainside. And so right outside the window of the old like 100-plus-year-old building we're staying in up on the second floor above the bar, there's an old miner's boarding house. Right out the window is Mary, and so we noticed the Mary on just various artworks around our trip.
Everywhere.
So it just seemed significant, and we wrote a song called Virgin on the Mountain, but it isn't on the record. But that record we recorded there in that very room. There's a lot of videos of it on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And
One of the stories I liked the best of that whole thing was there was a bull fiddle, a bass fiddle sitting there that he.
oh yeah,
Oh, that's a great story there. And they had I guess the Virgin of Guadalupe.
Yeah.
Where it was laying on the floor. And I'm thinking in my mind, I respect the Virgin Mary completely. I'm saying, what's the Virgin doing laying there on the floor? I said, let's pick her up and put her on the wall.
Yeah.
My mind tells me.
that's true.
I'll be doggone, a true story. And we picked her up and put her where the walls met. They're going looking out into the street. And I'll be doggone if she didn't take in the light of the room and just start shining. And this is a true story. Am I lying?
No.
She started shining, and boy, that is how the recording got named, because that girl shined.
So you could actually see on the YouTube video, some of them are before we put that picture up in the back of the picture, that some are after. So you can actually see that in there. And the album cover is him standing in front of that picture
Nice.
in the corner.
Yeah.
It's not only a hell of a story, but it's a true story.
Right. Well, is there obviously you guys doing a little bit of field recording, like you're saying? Is there something to that for you guys, like kind of the magic of that particular room? I mean, I've heard different stories over the years, like Sun Records and all these different stories about the
Folk tradition.
Yeah,
The folk tradition. Yeah.
but there's like there's, people claim that there's something about that particular room that makes the sound kind of come to life and everything else. And
Sure, there definitely can be something to that.
Possibility.
It's
Right.
also just the consciousness that you enter into the experience with.
Right.
Because both of these rooms, all three of them, no one had ever recorded in there. So
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
it was a music thing that's there necessarily, but there is history there and
Right.
Very
a
much
lot
history.
of feeling and soul. So
Silver Dollar Saloon.
yeah, the Silver Dollar Saloon in Butte, Montana. Yeah,
Ooh, hey.
yeah,
Ooh.
fantastic place. And
Ooh,
the story
yeah.
of how
Big voodoo.
yeah,
Big musical voodoo.
that goes
Bryant
back to,
Montgomery. Big musical voodoo.
I first went there in 2010 while on tour with Rockin' Jake, the blues harmonica player, and just thought it was a really hip place, Butte, Montana, and Brian and the place. So stayed in touch through Facebook, and then years later, I've been back multiple times and planning to go back again this July.
Recommend it. People know about this man's saloon all over America.
It's fantastic.
Maybe all over the world, because it's actually, it's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's get into the latest one, the new one
Yeah.
that's going to be coming out again. May 17th is the big release date, and this is titled Rosemary's Cabin Volume 3.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
More stories. Yeah.
tell me about Rosemary's Cabin. We're
Well, Rosemary, George
Melvin.
George Melvin. What a hell of a man, boy. Sprucewood Cabins in Colorado, man.
Yep.
Woo, was he a good man. Rosemary stayed in that cabin for years and years and years. Of course, she's been long gone now. But, I mean, George said she lived so primitive, it was just amazing, but she just loved that cabin.
Yeah.
That's what the whole plaque and everything came. This is Rosemary's Cabin. She lived there only God knows how long. A long time. And it was just, the vibe was good. I mean, it was just the right place to be. It really was.
Sprucewood is near Sedalia, Missouri, which is, it's maybe within 45 minutes to an hour of Denver.
Colorado.
But it's up in the mountains. It's in the Pike National Forest. It's just very remote, no cell phone service or anything, but it's just gorgeous. Similar story with Rockin' Jake. I was first in Sprucewood with Rockin' Jake in the same year and stayed in touch with George Melvin, and years later came back and going back again this July.
And George Melvin's another legendary guy. He's
Just a fantastic
bike
man.
rider. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, just
Military service.
outdoor man. I mean, just it's.
Owner of the bar there in Sprucewood. He's a fine man.
I would like to just go back there to have a beer at that bar, which
Yes.
I didn't do the last time. But
It's true.
I want to live long enough to go back there again, because that's something that I like to do, really. Yes, it is.
So we recorded Volume 3 there in Rosemary's Cabin, and the album cover of Volume 3 is the plaque on the side of the cabin.
That's it.
And there are a couple videos up on YouTube from there, and there'll be more. So that record, I actually played guitar with Walter, so it's most of the cuts are both of us live on two guitars and him singing. So,
right.
yeah.
But other than that, like it definitely obviously very minimalist. It's just just you two, and then it's live, and it's like
what you hear is what you get.
Right.
It's the folk tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's about the folk tradition and the oral tradition of word and song.
right.
That's what the whole thing is. It's the package, what I call the package.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have Volume 4 in our minds as a plan to go to another. It's a mountain series, so go rent a cabin somewhere else.
Want to go to Tennessee is where I want to go next. Want to go to the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's where I want to go now.
That'd be
if you're an
nice.
American boy and you're singing American songs, which is what we are doing, then you damn well for sure better go to the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah. Well, you got to be. I mean, I wouldn't think it'd take you very long to have another record ready to go, because you're already in a year. This is what, like 45, 50 songs we've got recorded out here.
We did all the songs were mine but one. We did
That's right.
one Woody Guthrie song, which
All right.
Yep.
And that guy's done some things. He's
Right.
So
well, I could do a whole recording of Woody Guthrie alone,
Sure
but
could.
I mean, and really not complain, not cuss, not spit, not nothing.
Yeah.
Just do it. And be thankful too.
well, let's give him a little sneak peek at this record. We'll drop in a track titled Whiskey Train. And again, this will be available soon on May 17th. And anything you guys want to share around Whiskey Train in this recording?
Well, in my life, I drank a lot of whiskey at one time in my life, and I've done other things I won't go into right now. But I found out that when you hit the bottom, you break up quite a bit. And the only way you live your life again like a common man and a good man in one piece is get yourself back off the ground, do the best you can, and live.
Riding the whiskey train back home, hiding the bottle, feeling all alone. Too much moss on the stone, I'm a long way from home. Old torn jacket without a thread, thought I'd be better off dead. To the bottle I've been wed, used the brown dirt for my bed. When you're a stranger to yourself, you got no money, you got no help. You just kick the can in your own peculiar help. When your best friend has gone home, you learn the meaning of alone. Into the water cast a stone of this desire. It's just the life of a rolling stone, where no pasture is a home. As the stone rolls off alone, at night I moan, oh, what have I done to me? That damn old whiskey won't let me be. Unto the branch of the tree, without the fee. When you're a stranger to yourself, you got no money, you got no help. You just kick the can in your own peculiar help. When your best friend has gone home, you learn the meaning of alone. Into the water cast a stone of this desire. It's just woke up, the bottle was gone. Sparrow out my window with her song. I knew it would not be long till I went back home. It's just the life of a rolling stone. I know there's no direction home. Follow the path that hurts the least on them tired old feet. Or when the dirt between your toes has turned to mud. When you're a stranger to yourself, you got no money, you got no help. Oh, you just kick the can in your own peculiar hell. When your best friend has gone home, you learn the meaning of the compound. Into the water cast the stone of this desire. Into the water cast the stone of this desire.
Yeah, man, for sure. That well, you also we were doing physical copies of the record, and you can pick that up on May 19th. We have a big show coming up we want to tell you about, and that is what we're calling this the Great St. Louis Folk Scare.
The Great St. Louis Folk Scare. That's right.
This is a free show.
Free.
At Off Broadway, May 19th, and along with Walter and Paul, you'll have Adam Gaffney.
Yes, sir.
And Lacie Williams and Scott of
Prairie
Rehab. Yeah,
That's right.
There we go. And Bob
Komaske.
Komaske.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's a great bill for sure.
Yep. We're very excited about it. It'll be pretty minimalistic in the music, no more than duos at a time, and we'll have a jam at the end and sing some sort of sing-along song, folky song, and it's free, and we hope people come enjoy it.
Yeah.
We're going to have
the songs I've
fun
written
time.
kind of complaining at me right now because I've been playing a lot of Woody Guthrie material the past 2-3 weeks getting ready for the show, so I might be doing a lot of Guthrie material for this particular show.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess he was a big influence on you?
Woody Guthrie is one of the best Americans who ever lived.
Right.
And he spoke for the common person. He worked his whole life. All the hobo tradition now, hobos weren't bums. These days we see bums. Back in the old days, hobos were working men. They weren't bums. They might have traveled the roads, but when they got their food and that little bit of change they took in, they worked for it. They weren't about being bums. So if you think hobo, don't think bums. Think American tradition.
Yeah. That's something that's good.
I met hobos. I met hobos back. I was a runaway when I was a child back in the late 60s, and I went out to the California way because that's where things were going on back then. And I met back in the day real hobos, not the cinema aspects, but actually real hobos. Yeah. I'll tell you one quick story so I don't bore you too much. I met a hobo in Arizona one time. He said, "Boy, you got any money for me?" I said, "Mister, I'm completely broke." Hobo went into his pocket and gave me the only 3 cents he had, and he said, "Here, boy, I have no need of this. Why don't you take this from me?"
There you go.
Wow.
True story.
Yeah.
Wow.
True story. God bless.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's that's pretty big when that's all you got, and then you're gonna give to somebody else.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Something indeed.
Well, we are. Let's drop in another one. We are getting real close to Mother's Day at the time of this recording, and it's one of my favorites from the record, and it happens to be very appropriate for the time, obviously. So let's talk about Mama. This is this is a live take we did here at Blue Lotus, but appears on the album as well.
That's right.
Anything you guys want to share around Mama?
Well, I remember my mother, when I was singing the song today, I remember the time my mother, she had a playful, she's a hard-working woman, She's from southern Missouri. And I remember the time it just came to my mind as I was singing, is the time she hid under the bed. It must have been a Sunday or something before I had to go to school the next day. And I was walking through the room, and she just jumps up from under the bed where she was hiding, scared the shit out of me. That's a true story. And she was just laughing her ass off. It was just something. It was real nice.
Tell the story of the dictionary.
Oh, the dictionary. Yeah. Well, see, me and my father, we were both hellions. I went to the old Crondelet School in South St. Louis. We're still there. The building is. And this woman hated my father, this teacher. And she looked at me, and I was a spitting image of my father. She hated me the first time she seen me. True story. And she didn't pass me. She went to hold me through, hold me back, you know what I mean? And my mother got mad. You know what I mean? She went there and tore that woman up. But then she realized that maybe the woman was maybe half right, that I wasn't studying good enough. So there must have been third grade or something about there. She bought me a collegiate dictionary. And every night we'd be studying a few words out of that dictionary. And before I could go to bed, we would discuss the word, what it was pronounced, how it was spelled, what it meant, how it could be used. I mean, little things like that. And, of course, I got to the next grade because after my mama took a big old bite out of that woman's, you know what I'm talking about, things worked out real well. And just this thing about words that kind of stuck deep inside of me. I can't tell you no more really than that. My mama was good. My mama worked in hard-working jobs in the factories, worked in the old presses. And she was actually a member of the unions a long time ago. She was a woman that was ahead of her time. She was bullheaded but hard-loving, and she had a fun spirit about her, too. She's something. That's what I think mama comes from, is from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I close my eyes and talk to you, Mama. What you said did get through, Mama. I know I should listen closer, oh, to you, oh, Mama. Oh, Lord, my heart, it is always with you. This world is hard, oh, I've heard it said. You work so hard just to, oh, end up dead. Oh, but in dying, life becomes born instead. Oh, in your heart, oh, not in your head. Tell you something. Every machine made, oh, runs out of gas. Oh, thank you very well that they don't long last. Oh, don't attach yourself to the past. Lend your thoughts, oh, to that which lasts. I close my eyes and talk to you, Mama. I know I should have listened closer to you, oh, Mama. But what you said, oh, did get through. I said, Mama, Lord, my heart, oh, it is always with you. Lord, my heart, it is always with you. Lord, my heart, it is always
Well, I'm sure, especially at a young age, reading the dictionary like that, and I'm sure that helped create a vast vocabulary for writing all these songs and stuff. I mean,
It's all in my head, so it's like
Right.
it's. I probably got a dozen dictionaries in my house right now, including that dictionary which I keep and is precious to me, of course.
I still have the same one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. I have the Bible that when we was raised Southern Baptist. I'm not saying nothing about no religion. We was raised that way, and when we was raised, I still got that Bible with me and my mama went to church with.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta keep them things because it's precious.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Precious.
That yeah, that's some heavy stuff though to think about sometimes, like, because that, sometimes, like, I mean, that they're here, or that Bible's still here, but they're gone and everything else. You have those little moments, those things to hold on to that memory and things, and
Ain't it something?
and keep celebrating those people that are that passed and stuff. So
Yeah, that's right. You gotta give praise, man.
Yep.
Praise is everything.
right.
Praise is everything. We ever record praise? I'm sure we did.
Yeah, we
Praise
have.
is a good song. If you ever find that song, praise, listen to it. It's a wonderful song.
Yeah.
It really is.
Very cool. We did do some, like I said, we did some live jamming, and we recorded some videos along with all the other videos Paul mentioned on YouTube. You can follow the Rock Paper Podcast channel and check out these videos live from inside Blue Lotus here. So,
Yes, sir.
but along with all that, you can follow Walter on Facebook and Instagram and get involved socially.
Come see me play. I mean, two of us, when I can bribe the time out of him to get to play with me, two of us sound good together.
Yeah.
Good.
You guys play out quite a bit.
Whenever we can, God
Yeah,
bless
I mean,
us.
I've seen you guys on the calendar at Naked Vine and Venice Cafe.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Two good places, two
Yeah.
Definitely.
nice places to play. Love them both.
right.
Artsy places. Artsy places are the best because they care about the music.
When you guys were talking about recording these out, obviously, Butte and all this stuff, and are you guys getting out there and playing shows, or are you mainly just going there to take care of business and record this record, or?
We played in Butte.
Yeah.
We did at the film festival,
Right.
They-
a
we
few
did.
times, and at the Silver Dollar, and but
did.
we didn't. Well, we did a private show for George and Leo, two guys up
Little deck
outside
show- a deck
on
show.
a deck. Yeah, we
was
just
fun.
two acoustic guitars and sang, and we did that in Sprucewood. So
Nice.
we were gonna play in the bar, but
I got sick.
he got sick from the elevation, and
whatever it was,
that's a
it was
common
woo,
thing.
woo,
If you
woo, woo.
haven't been, a mile high, and then you drive there
Hey,
in one day,
mile
and
high,
maybe you don't drink enough
mile
water.
low,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're going to be feeling. So we weren't able to do that, but
Yeah, that's right. I'd like to go back there and play for all those people again.
Yeah.
I'd really like to do that. It's
Yeah, that was what I was getting to. I was going to ask if, like, touring and playing around, now that we have a lot of these CDs to sell and everything else, have this material out there, like getting this, continue to spread the fan base out.
would love the offer. If someone would like to offer, I'm more than happy myself to
Yeah.
the tour really the world. If somebody wants to give me the offer to play the rest of my life, I'll tell you what, the answer is yes.
Yeah,
he'd do it. Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's I think that's the dream. No matter how old you get and stuff, is like if you can get paid to play music all the rest of your life, that's a pretty good deal for sure.
Hit the
That's-
lottery.
That's what you want to do. I mean, it's like this ain't the kind of thing you look to get rich on, because you ain't going to be getting rich on playing no music now. So if you want to get rich, better keep on putting your makeup on. You know what I mean? Look in the mirror real close, because you probably ain't gonna be getting no rich on no music. Like I tell the kid, I tell him, I'm just about as pretty as some mud on an old dirt road out back somewhere. 'Cause I ain't pretty. I don't want to be pretty. Don't need to be. Ain't that something?
But I don't know. It's like we're definitely in that era, of the pop stars and all these, these very attractive people that are in the phrase. But like, obviously, a lot of my favorites, or a lot of the songwriters and stuff, it wasn't about their looks. They
No.
didn't know. It was about the truth. Like you're saying, it's
Yeah.
about the content of the music.
Yeah.
And,
3 chords and the truth. That's
Right.
what they tell you.
Yeah.
3 chords and the truth.
right. Tom Petty was not, a super handsome man,
Right.
but he was very successful because he played great songs.
Yeah.
Took him a while now. He didn't just get successful. I lived in Gainesville, Florida now
Yeah.
for about 6 months at one time, and he's revered in Gainesville, Florida. You know, Tom Petty, to this day, even back then, and that was over 30-some years ago when I lived in Gainesville.
Right.
And he was revered even back then. So.
Yeah, I don't mean to speak ill of Tom Petty.
Oh, no, I know you're not. I know. I know. It's just the amount. The Great Southern Music Hall in Gainesville, Florida was legendary stuff.
Right on.
Legendary.
Yep. Yeah, he's one of the best, man. I got to see him probably 10 years ago or something out of Riverport, and
it was a good show. Wow. I think I saw it. I think I might have saw it.
I think it was like Black Crowes or somebody opened up, and I was a little disappointed in the Black Crowes set because they didn't really like play any hits that I wanted to hear, which is something that's fun. I mean, obviously when you got a large catalog, play some of the deep stuff, but you know, I was like, they hadn't really done a whole lot at that time, and like I was hoping to hear. Something Remedy or Hard to Handle, Talk to Angels, or what, something that recognizes and things.
Right.
But they come off sounding like the Rolling Stones, didn't they? I mean, basically, yeah. It was a good band.
For sure.
It was a good band.
But then Tom Petty came out and just like all hits all night long, and then like I did find it funny, and it's kind of a shame that it kind of comes to that, but. There was a part in the middle of the show where he's like, all right, we're going to play a couple of new ones. And then like you can watch like everybody get up and go to the bar or go to the bathroom and stuff. And then come back and just finish strong with all the hits and stuff.
Wow. But, it's good to do both.
Yeah, right. I mean, but that's, he's definitely got to do the new stuff. But
everything
like,
Man wrote was a hit. So, it's like everything he wrote was a hit. So
it's all great.
So, what the heck?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny. Nobody really wants to hear the new stuff. They want the stuff they know, but
there's something to that. Yeah,
well, there's something. It's the people you want to be familiar to people,
right?
But, familiarity.
But you have to, whatever sound you got inside of you got to bring forth. Because if you're not truthful to yourself, then you're not truthful to anybody else either. Especially the people you're trying to get to listen to your music.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
Well, let's give them another one to listen to. This is. Another one I really liked called 4 in the Morning Blues.
Ain't that something?
Nice.
Yeah. Let's talk about this track, guys. Anything you want to add to that one?
Well, he wanted simple material, and so I was just playing around in the kitchen. I write most of my stuff in the kitchen, and so I just wrote a minor blues song. I just I just figured, how do you start a blues song? But it's 4 in the morning, and the blues, they won't let me alone.
Yeah.
How else do you start a blues song? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's blues right there, man.
I'm lost in my own house. I'm trapped by a heart of stone. I mean, it's blues. It's a minor blues song. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the blues, they won't let me home. I'm lost in my own house, trapped by a heart of stone. I can't sleep tonight. I said the blues, they won't leave me alone. Oh, what you gonna do when your trusting heart ain't strong? Oh, just a busted into pieces by love gone horribly wrong. I said, who's gonna write the words to the next love song? When the blues come calling, what you gonna do? You don't want no blues. I said, wow, don't it after you. I said, worried love, oh, it is the very worst. Just to watch it as your little bubble get burst. Oh, I said the bridges burn and you know that you've been cursed. Oh, when the blues come calling, what you gonna do? You don't want no blues, I said, following after you. I said, nothing ain't ever right. Oh, when the blues come calling, what you gonna do? You don't want no blues. I said, following after you. I said, when the blues come calling, what you gonna do? You don't want no blues. I said, following after you. I said, it's 4 in the morning, and the blues, they won't leave me alone.
Thinking about future projects, would you guys want to do something a little more with a like a full band, or is it always going to be just 2 guitars or a bass and pretty minimalist?
Who knows? It's like I say, I'm happy with what we do because I just, our sound now is bare bones.
Right.
There ain't a bunch of leads. There ain't a bunch of solos. There ain't take this other solo again. There ain't none of that. It's just pure song. It's pure melody, pure wording. It's pure Americana, man.
Right.
It's just pure Americana. It ain't no let's go crazy here and all. You take it the next one, all right? It ain't none of that. It's just it ain't none of that. It's just a song, and so the song's got to be good and strong and it's got to mean something, and you just go and get them. You know what I mean? Give people the truth. People know what the truth is. You don't hide the truth from people. You just cannot do it.
But we want to say, this man's written hundreds of songs, and he is totally open to any bands or artists taking them and doing their own version of it.
That's what my desire. I'm trying to feed him that.
He wants it actively.
I want that,
so anyone, check out his songs. If you just look at his, write down the words and just look at them on paper, they're really good.
Yeah.
So do your own version of them.
Please,
we're open to it.
Have you guys tried doing any of that, pitching to Nashville or anything like that, or that kind of?
To the extent that it's on the web, available
that's
everywhere.
That's a big market. So,
yeah.
It's.
I'm trying to,
easier said than done.
Sure.
Yeah,
probably.
easier said than done. Because look how many people moved to Nashville. Just
thousands trying to do it every day. So
every day. People playing for free there constantly, and lined up to play for free. It's just, I understand it. But I'd rather be here in St. Louis myself because I like it here. I don't see nothing wrong with St. Louis. What am I going to do? Move to Nashville to take St. Louis with me?
Yeah.
I'm already in St. Louis. Well, why am I going to the place? It's a nice town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer. If you're going to make it, you can make it from anywhere.
today
Especially today with the internet.
Yes.
So there's but why move? Where you're in a big old pond when you can be you can be in a smaller city and be a star of that city and stuff, and until the time comes where you had to be there for the opportunity.
If that ever happens, that's right. Like I said, let the song be the star.
Yeah.
Let the song be the star. You don't need to be no star.
Right.
If you want to write a good song, let the song be the star.
Yeah.
If you're putting pretty lipstick on something, put it on the song.
Yeah.
Let the song stand out front of the people.
I saw a good meme online the other day where there's this guy skipping a bunch of steps, and it was one of them was about having good songs, and that's the biggest thing is people just jump try to get to the just being successful, but they forget about all the other decent recordings and good songs and all this stuff like that. There's people that overlook a lot of that stuff, and it's they try to just be an overnight success kind of thing. And,
sounds like Whiskey Train. Unless you've literally been beaten and lived in maybe self-abusive life, I guess is really what I'm saying. Unless you've experienced this, if you've experienced this in your whole life, you stand a chance of maybe writing the song. But these people trying to write songs of things they've never experienced before, no. You look at the mirror and the image you see is not what you desire. Only the truth. The 3 chords and the truth, that's the proof of American music. That's what we strive for.
Yep. Do you have any tips or advice? Over the years of writing all these hundreds of songs and stuff, is there anything you can pass on to younger artists looking to get better at songwriting and stuff?
Well, there's a few things I tell anybody. I say one is keep the faith, have faith in yourself, keep a community of support around you, and take care of the people around you. Don't just use them, take care of them. Stay off of hard liquor and hard drugs because they'll kill you. Go deep inside yourself and dig inside yourself and pull what's inside of you, what's truthfully you, and bring that out and write them songs about what you know and what you feel and what you've experienced. Write what you know and be kind to others and don't destroy yourself. Because once you start playing live music, it's easy to get a lot of offers for a lot of different things now, which we won't go into. But it's good to know what you can and can't do, and it's really good to be able to say no when you know you're going to hurt somebody or perhaps even yourself.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think I think that's definitely the key to it. Write what you know. Like to me, people try to skip that too. You know, it's like it's just because like if you don't believe it, then how are we going to believe it? You know, it's like that's. I feel like I said, exactly what you're saying. Just it's the truth. You know, speak the truth, and everybody else is going to see it, and so.
The song Whiskey says, Whiskey Train says, riding the whiskey train back home, hiding the bottle, feeling all alone.
Right.
Yep.
There's a lot of truth to that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You do you write? Do you find yourself writing more from personal experiences, or do you write? Do you like to make up more stories to go along with the songs and stuff?
The great songs write themselves.
Yeah,
they really do. It's we got to lay claim to things because that's just where our society is and the way the world works. But the great songs, you have to practice all the time. Of course, you have to practice constantly. But the great songs, they come to you. They come to you in the quiet moments, I find, mostly. Sometimes I find some of the best songs I've ever written in 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, you're getting up, just walking around your house, you can't go back to sleep, and all of a sudden just something slams you. And you just sit down and start writing. And next thing you know, by the time the morning rolls around, the sun comes up, you done wrote a real good song. You're saying, ain't that something?
Yeah. Do you keep a notepad by the bed, or how do you? What's your?
No, I have. He'll tell you that over my house there's just stacks of pads of papers, and it's pitiful. Like I say, somebody shot the maid, but it wasn't me. I'd never shoot the maid because it's obvious somebody did shoot her over my house. But you know, it's true. There's stuff just stacked up.
Writings and musings written everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. Stacked up everywhere in stacks and piles. That's yeah.
And music posters and art just everywhere. It's
everywhere art.
Yeah, I've got a whole like bedroom dedicated to like just it's not displayed yet, but I've just been collecting, and then hopefully someday I have a nice basement like yourself here and be able to decorate it all up properly. And
nice.
So that's my goal. But right now I've just been in the collecting for the last 15 years and like just gathering posters. And,
that's right. Floor charts. I love floor charts. Are my favorites. Get them floor charts right from the performer. Yeah, that's what I like the best.
Like the stage set list, you know.
Yeah, that's what I like the best. That's.
Like I got a lot of signed vinyl and drum heads and stuff like that. Nice. Like all kinds of different memorabilia, and it's fun to have those things for sure. So. We got the big show on May 19th at Off Broadway in St. Louis, Missouri.
Indeed.
Again, you can see these two guys live.
The great St. Louis folk scare.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what was you were telling me the story kind of about there was the folk scare story.
Oh, now that's an old joke is what it was.
Oh, okay,
back.
Joke.
What I personally always said is there's always afraid of folk music because it told the truth. So a lot of people were always been afraid of the truth because there's no money in the truth. In fact, if too many people start living the truth, then a lot of what we know about society today probably won't exist any longer. You know what I mean? So it was just a really old joke about the 60s. It's called the great, the folk scare is what it was. Sure. It's just, and because they was afraid of Pete Seeger and guys like this. They was real afraid of them. And there was years, I'll tell you the truth, that even Pete Seeger said himself that he recorded a lot of things as fast as he could because he was afraid they were going to kill him. Because the Weavers, they were on the list. You know what I mean? They said they were communists. That's what they said the Weavers were, and these people were subversives. People like Pete Seeger say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Pete actually said himself that he was afraid that they were going to kill him.
Well, we're not too far off from that today. I went to see Will Ho Get Off Broadway, and he had put out that video, and it was like kind of making fun of Trump and stuff in the video, and there was some. Obviously, he writes a lot of political themed songs, and he. But he was getting a lot of death threats, and they, I've been to hundreds of shows at Off Broadway, and that was the only time I had to go through a metal detector to get into that show.
Holy cow!
Happens.
So he he wanted to make sure he was safe for the show, but
if America can't live by the truth,
right?
Yeah, I mean, and we all need money, each and every one of us, including me. But you got to work hard for your money. You don't want free money. You don't want to take money from people. You don't want to lie to people to get money. You want to be truthful. You want to live a real life and be a real American. You want to be someone that make this country great again, because that's what we need. We need to be great again. Yeah. Right now, we're in the pits, and it's a doggone shame for all of us, because I know we're all hurting bad.
Yeah, man. Let's close this out with one more live jam, and this is which I'm proud to say is a Rock Paper Podcast exclusive.
It is indeed.
Unavailable anywhere else but right here on this show. And this is a song called Missouri Farm.
Missouri Farm, that's right.
And
how old is this song, would you say?
Well, this song here is maybe a year plus old. This is a new
that
song.
All? Okay.
It's a young song. At the most, it's a year. It's just a song that introduced itself to me, because we were talking about roots and where I was from and about this and that, and I just figured, I mean, you listen to the song yourself and tell me if you can't relate to it yourself. It's a simple song. It's about heartbreak and just simple life. That's all it really is. It's a good song. I like it.
Yeah, man, definitely.
I was raised down in old Missouri. I come up here in the town. I loved you so much, but you are nowhere to be found. I said the stars in the sky are shining, but it's a dark day for me. For you have left me for another. How unhappy I shall be. Tell you. Oh, true love, you are a stranger. I feel the pain you give to thee. I am but a wanderer, waiting to be set free. My bed is cold and lonely, though the hot fire, why it is lit, but it can not keep me warm. All I want is your loving arms. Missouri, I come up here in the town. I loved you so much, but you are nowhere to be found. Oh, cruel love, you are a stranger. I felt the pain you give to thee. I am Oh, but a wanderer waiting to be set free. Oh, my bed is cold and lonely, though the hearth fire white is lit, but it can't not keep me warm. I'm just a boy on a miserable farm. I said it can't not keep me warm. I'm just a boy on a miserable farm.
And again, there's check out the video we shot here today. So
Yep.
that'll be up on the Facebook, YouTube. Get involved socially all over with Walter and Blue
Please.
Lotus Recordings.
Please.
Yep, please.
Again, everything's at bluelotusrecordings.com.
Yep.
You can head over there. And,
If you got a bar owner that you like, it's a good man or woman, doesn't make any difference. Sex don't make no difference. People are people now.
Indeed.
And if they like to book us, please tell them, hey, you know, I know these couple fellas that sure like to play some good music for you. Because we like to get this music as far as we can stretch it, definitely into your ears. We would love to play for you. If you own a bar or a club or even a restaurant owner that would like to book us, please give Paul Niehaus a call at the Blue Lotus record label, because I sure play for you, want to play for you, and I desire to play for you. Thank you.
yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this, and always a lot of fun hanging out here at Blue Lotus.
Thank you so much,
but yeah,
Shane.
I really appreciate you guys doing this, and let's do it again soon.
Love to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, guys. Bye, everyone.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.